Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop. This is our 2013 Mitsubishi FUSO FG that I'm turning into an overland camper. Today I'm going to work on installing a 120 volt outlet in the galley. That's the kitchen. I'm also going to work on a little bit more wiring on the electrical distribution panel. But before I get to that, I'm going to see if I can use my 3D printed 41mm wrench to get another turn on the nut to pull out this number 4 injector. By holding the stud with one wrench and tightening the nut with the other, it starts pulling upward on the injector. I've printed the wrench in PETG at 60% infill with 6 walls, so it should be pretty strong. If you want more info on the extractor tool I built, check out the previous video. And that's it, that's all I'm doing on the injector today, so let's get back inside the box where it's a little bit warmer. Oh, it feels warmer already. There are a lot of things that need to be taken into consideration when choosing a location for an outlet, but the most important is to make sure you have approval from the chef. Now that I know where to put it, the next step is going to be to mark out where the box is going to go exactly, because I need to cut a hole all the way through the cupboard so that the outlet can sit flush. I'll start with a layer of tape to draw on and protect the surface, and next I'll trace out a consistent border and set the cover plate in place to get a visual. That seems like a pretty straightforward way to locate an outlet, but let's stop and think for a minute. What I've just done is laid it out off the back wall of the kitchen. The problem is the back wall of the cabinet is farther forward. So I actually need to bring this forwards so that I have enough room on the back of the box for the wire to come out before it hits the back of the cabinet, thus avoiding the measure once, cut twice method. Let's start fresh with some new tape, and with that in place, put a line to avoid the back of the cupboard. Now, with some measurements off the back and the base, I can locate the outlet cutout. It looks like about 115 by 72. Cut once, measure 3 times? I gotta stop trying to read tape measures upside down. It's 115, not 105. Are we good now? Before I dive into cutting this, I've got one more measurement to do to make sure that I can actually cut this where it's located. I'm going to be using my jigsaw to cut the straight lines in this, and that means the bottom line has to be cut parallel to the counter. Does my saw get low enough to the line that I've drawn? The absolute lowest that my saw can cut looks like it's about 35mm, or inch and, I don't know, a bunch of 8ths or 16ths or something. I still don't understand people that think imperial is easier than metric. My bottom line is about 27mm, and not only that, I really don't want the side of my jigsaw vibrating along this finished countertop, so I'm gonna add an old piece of flooring that the saw can ride along and not scratch the counter, which is going to add another 12mm or so, which means our bottom line is now around 50mm. That's about 2 inches. Measure once, cut 4 times? I think we're good now. Starting with a hole in each corner will give a nice radius as well as a spot for the saw blade to start. There's no going back now. Now with the 4 holes drilled, hopefully I can connect the dots in a straight line with the jigsaw. Oh no, is what I would have said if I hadn't measured it properly, but I did, so as a test fit from the outside, looks like we're good. Clearly that's not how the outlet goes in. It's coming in from the back like this. But that means I'm gonna need to make some spacers for the screws. But thankfully, I looked at these things earlier, and with a few measurements and after a quick sketch while I've been working in the box, my printer has been building these for me, along with a few other parts we'll get to later. I think while it finishes up, I'll eat some lunch. Now that I've eaten my lunch and filled some of my pocket somewhere with a bunch of 3D printed parts, I can install the outlet box. Well, almost. See, before I install the box, I want to drill a hole to get the wire from this cabinet down to this cabinet, and then from this cabinet out to underneath the bed. Because of how tight the space is in the back, this will be much easier to do before I install the outlet. It would seem pretty straightforward to just throw a drill bit in the back corner so we can go from here straight down until you start measuring things and looking underneath and you find, oh, there's a bolt right there. I really don't feel like drilling through a bolt or trying to run a wire through it, so I'm going to drill a small pilot hole up from the bottom first, and then I'll drill the main hole down from the top. Not exactly an easy place to get into to drill a hole. There. That's a tight spot to get a camera and a drill into your head. With the holes drilled, I can install the outlet box and be able to run the cord through. Now there's one thing that I'm not doing right now that I will be coming back to do later, especially on the box cutout. I will be sealing this edge when things are a little bit consistently warmer, so that box will end up coming back out again temporarily just to seal the edge. And similarly, where I've drilled the holes through here, I'll be making a printed piece that slips over the wire. It's got a split in the side of it and then pushes in that I can seal in to finish the edge. You might be wondering how that works. Well, this is kind of what it looks like. This is essentially a TPU, which is a printable rubber, so this is a printed part. I would call this a grommet. It's designed to go around the electrical wire after it's in place, so I can split it to fit it over the wire. And then these ones actually fit in the 1-inch holes in the box. And then once it's compressed in there, it actually tightens down and closes up that gap. So all it's doing is grabbing the wire and preventing it from moving. That is the part that I designed to go into the outlet boxes, and I'll be making a similar piece to go through anywhere where the cable runs through the wood. In keeping with the same approach as I did for the seat box outlets in the truck, I will be hacking up an SJTW extension cord, this time in red, which makes it easy to tell the circuits apart when we get to the electrical panel. Well, sort of. I'll be using the same red cable to run power to the main inlet breaker for the 15 amp shore power, and then over to the cord end from the shore power inlet. So a little bit easier to tell the circuits apart. I'm using the same clips as I did for the outlet circuit, so it's easy to get this cord where I need it and back to the electrical box. Now I can measure and cut what I need, then strip the jacket off, strip the ends of the insulation off, and crimp on the pin lugs. Lastly, install the wires into their respective locations in the breaker panel. With the short inlet wire now run back to the inlet breaker, I can take the offcut of this cord, run it through the conduit under the counter, and then up through the cupboards to the outlet. Because the back side of this outlet box is going to be very difficult to get at once it's installed, I've already put in that TPU printed seal so that I don't have to fight with it once the outlet is in place. And of course, I'm leaving a nice service loop there if I need any extra cable in the future. Now to install the screws, I'm coming through backwards, and so that's where these first little supports were printed, so that I don't try and break the tab off the box. If you're wondering what these spacers are for, well, it's because the screws that I have are too long and I don't want them to poke through the front, so for now, we'll put a spacer on them. So essentially, each corner will end up looking like that. Of course, the screw will end up being a little bit tighter. These narrow end cupboards are seriously a pain to work inside. Oh, well, I wouldn't say it's perfect. There are no screws through the front, and the box is attached in the back. Working inside there is not the most fun place to work. It is extremely tight, and if you don't have an angle drive for your cordless, I would highly recommend you get one. Now I can move to the lower cupboard and route and connect the wire on the inside, and then I can pull the excess back from the outside of the cupboard and feed it back through the conduit, and pull the excess back along here until I get to the electrical panel. When I get to the panel, I'll trim the end of the cord off, and what I'll be left with is the tail end of the cord, and I can install a plug on that to give myself a short extension cord. This lower cabinet is difficult enough to get two arms into. There was no way I was getting a camera in at the same time, but effectively we've got 4 little zip tie clips, and in a second, okay, maybe a couple minutes, it'll look like this. Where the wire comes out in the seat box over here, it needs to run along the T-slot and over to the electrical panel. But I think I'm gonna redesign the little plastic clips so that they can hold, oh, hey, we just lost power. Yeah, we'll turn it up a little bit. I guess that means I'm done for the day. I can't really work in here in the dark, and that's about as far as I was gonna get anyway. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the links in the video description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.